So what have NAB traders been doing this week? Gemma Dale joins us from nabtrade to explain. Gemma, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
It's a Friday, so you're here to tell us what's been going on. What has been going on? Have people been quite active?
Look, my favorite thing is it's not Fortescue, nothing, and then, you know, a little bit of miners at the side, because it's been quite dull, to be honest with you, for the last couple of months. A lot of our guys sort of felt there was going to be some weakness, and so they retreated, for want of a better word. They sat on the sidelines. They were waiting for something interesting to happen. We have seen this massive uplift in average trade sizes. So we have seen only the big players out there, but they tend to trade their favorite stocks. And so it just gets a little bit not very exciting, to be honest with you. This week it's all changed, right? So Zip is right back in the numbers. Yeah. It's crazy, crazy, crazy.
What's happening? So they're just buying?
They're trading it.
Trading.
Like nobody's
I was wondering.
It's a very actively traded stock, and it has been. Afterpay was a buy and hold for a lot of people. People loved that thing, and it, you know, ran like crazy, and it did come back obviously very hard post the Square/Block transition. But for most of our guys, it was such an extraordinary winner. They were happy to let it run, whereas Zip was much more of a trading opportunity. They moved in and out of it very, very actively. They got out quite a while ago, sort of around the $3-4 mark they were getting out, and we didn't see anything happening much over the last couple of months. But now, you know, things are moving again. They're really happy to jump back on it. And Sezzle as well. We're talking, you know, hundreds and hundreds of trades in something that no one's paid any attention to.
Okay, well that is fascinating. That will be one of the big stories from the week, in a week that was full of big stories, right? So where else? Where else are NAB traders active? We've had a lot of these quarterly production reports coming from the miners. Fortescue, Pilbara, I know, is one that's really sort of actively, you know, involved on the platform. So have you seen a lot of movement there?
Fortescue's been interesting in that there has been some trimming. I mean, it had a little pop. Everyone's been happy with how they're performing, and so there's a bit of trimming at the margin. But to be honest, it's still a very high value traded stock. That's what it is. The big guys really like to move in and out of that. So I don't see that changing dramatically. That is, the news was the news, but frankly, you can trade it based on the iron ore price, and that's what you do. BHP's been a trade this week as well. They've been quite mixed in terms of what people have been doing with them. Rio's interesting. Our guys have very little interest in Rio, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and even though it reported.
Yeah, so they don't have a lot of interest. It's been a buy though. It's been in since it reported. It's been a buy. Pilbara's been in there pretty consistently anyway. They like that. They like it a lot. It's sort of at the speckier end, but it's fun.
Anything we need to know about the banks? I did notice that ANZ outperformed a couple of days this week.
Yeah, and
in terms of share price, I should say.
Yeah, yes, many other things going on at ANZ. Look, it's been super interesting. Obviously, since they announced we've got our big plan now, right? We're going ahead. It was very exciting that everyone got bored and kind of left it alone. ANZ's the least interesting of the banks for our guys. It's the one that they just don't play with at all. It's still in the numbers, obviously. NAB, though, above $30 because it's such a huge holding for our guys. Above $30, they trim it super hard. So it's been trimmed quite aggressively whenever it sort of pops its head above that threshold. It's been interesting. Macquarie, they gave an update. Macquarie it's a passion project for a lot of people. You know, if you got on the Macquarie train early, you've done really nicely, and a lot of our guys have, and so they feel they're attached to it. They want to do well out of it. Do they pick up more? Do they not? This one sort of 180, 160 kind of range confuses people. So very active trading in it, but they're not sure which way they want to go. I find that quite interesting. They love it, but don't know if I need more. I'm not sure if it's cheap enough, but is there enough upside in it for me? I don't know. So they're moving.
Okay. It was a massive week in terms of US earnings.
Yeah.
So all the big tech names, and it followed on from, you know, the tech names that we got last week that really set the scene for the open here on Monday. So what did you see happening in international shares?
Yeah, you'd love to think that there was some response to reporting season. I think also it's a quarterly reporting season there. It's quite different to here where you sort of have to wait quite a while for your big stories. You're getting them relatively frequently in the US. We just don't see that active trading off the back of numbers. We just don't. People will buy a brand that they're attached to, they like it, they'll buy it and they'll hang on to it for a while. So we will always see buying in Amazon and Tesla and Alphabet and whatever else that they're keen on. The big social media players, they're not that keen on. Like, we didn't see anything happening with Snap at all. Just didn't happen. So they haven't changed their behavior very much. The one that made me laugh was Victoria's Secret. That popped in. Haven't seen that before. Nothing going on with the company at all that we could see, but someone wanted to buy a lot of it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Well, you never know, do you? Anything else that really stands out to you, Gemma, before we've got to let you go?
Look, I'm going to be interested to see what happens with CSL. You see it above
Yeah.
294. That is one where if it gets just that little bit closer to 300, we start to see very, very aggressive trimming. And Kogan, if it comes back, oh my goodness, there was some trimming in that, right? So they were going, thank God, I'm going to sell it now.
All of us were thinking, what's going on with Kogan? Anyhow, it's just so interesting to see how it all impacts behavior on the platform. Gemma Dale from nabtrade, thank you.
So good to see you.
Have a good weekend.